So think about this new consumer of work. They really are not excited by the thing that we have used to lure them all these years. And do you know what that exciting thing we have used to lure someone to work for us? A job description! Isn't that the most exciting thing you've ever heard? It has a list of duties and responsibilities and sometimes physical requirements. I mean, does that not make someone like Alex just want to get out of bed and challenge? Oh, and then we think that we could just kind of like post the job description on our job board or our website, and Alex, really talented, will just come jump on it and come to work for us. People, this is not going to work. You know, we wonder why if we post a job description we get mostly trash, because we're looking for people in the very wrong way to do that. By the way, these people who used to trust us, they would fill out an application. Levi and I are old enough. We used to fill out an application. In fact, we might have not even sent it in the mail, gone to the lobby and filled out an application and handed it in. That's how old we were. Then when we got a little more sophisticated, we went to seminars about how to write our resume and what stock paper to use and what font it should be in. That was real important, and what we should wear, and you know, all those kinds of things to find a job. The Alexes in the world don't care about that kind of thing. Their resume, a resume? I got a profile on LinkedIn. I have a profile on Facebook. You can look me up on the internet. I have a whole website about myself. Why do I need to send you a resume? I have a personal brand. I've been building it. You ask me for a resume, I don't know if I want to be in there. But people used to go on interviews and we would tell them about the job. That was our real good selling thing. Welcome to the company. It's a great company. Let us tell you all about it. And the job is great. And they would go, oh, great. Sign me up. When do I get my paycheck? Now they don't listen to what you say. They go out on the web and they check with all of their friends. And guess what? Your former employees and current employees, if they're not having a good experience, they may be sharing that at certain websites out there or on Facebook. And so you can no longer control the message you sent through this wonderful way of posting a job description and telling people how great your company is. By the way, when we used to get hired, we would get our job and we'd think, yay, we got a job. We're going to go to work. We're going to work there maybe 10 years, maybe more, until maybe I stop getting promoted or I get a boss I don't like. That was kind of our plan. We didn't really think ahead. Not people like Alex. He's still looking. While he's in the onboarding process in the room, he's on his thing, seeing what other new jobs are out here and what comes next. Because there might be one better than the one he got. And just to make it, really bad, when people leave us, we treat them horribly. This is what it's come to. We hire some hatchet men to pull 30-year employees in an office and tell them their life is over. And no wonder nobody really wants to come work for an American corporation. But we're thinking about this wrong. Our former employees probably influence what people think about us as much as our current employees and as much as candidates who are going through the process of interviewing. And guess what? All of these people know people that might want to work for us. And guess what else? They're all on the internet, and they all have Facebook or LinkedIn, or they can go to Glassdoor.com or The Vault or wherever the new place will be. And they can, by the way, shoot a YouTube video while George Clooney is telling them they're fired. Tell you another story. I just have this nebulous woman out here about one of my friends from the Silicon Valley. A few years ago, I was talking at a group like this in the Silicon Valley. There was a very nice young man in the audience, and he happened to work for that company whose name starts with a G. So I can connect you with him. He's actually still there if you'd like. And so I'm messing with him, kind of a Yahoo Google thing from the front of the room. And afterwards, he came up and he said, would you mind having coffee with me? Kind of having a career crisis, and I need a mentor. I said, sure, why not? Because what am I going to do? What's going on at Google? How many people are you hiring? Yeah. I got it all planned out. So we meet for coffee, and I pump him for information. But I'm like, okay, so tell me about your career situation. He said, well, I'm 25 years old. I have a really nice degree from a prestigious school, very articulate, great guy. I've been at Google for 7 months, and I haven't been promoted. So, oh, that's such a shame. Well, let me see what we can do about that. Role playing. I said, who's your boss? And he goes, well, that's really a problem. I really don't know who my boss is. And that's a lot of how Google operates, by the way. Sometimes you work there, you don't know whose team you're on, what boss you have. It makes it fun for someone like Alex, but it also makes it very frustrating if you're trying to figure out your career path. And this particular young man has a very clearly defined career path. And I said, well, what were you planning to do? And he said, well, I'm an analyst now, and then I'd like to get promoted to a senior analyst. I think I should be a senior analyst right away. Then I'd like to do an international assignment. Then I'd like to move out of HR into the business, and I'd like to do that. And then I'd like to come back in and run a function within HR. What a great plan. Of course, for me, that would have been about a 10-year horizon. For him, it was like 3 years. All this would happen in 3 years. So I said, okay, here's what I do. Find out who your boss is. Sit down with the boss, him or her, and tell him your plan. Here's what I'd like. What do I need to do to get to the next step, analyst? And once you find out that, what do I need to get? How do I get an international assignment, et cetera? So I'm thinking he's going to call me back in a couple of weeks, dejected, and I'm going to have to talk him off the ledge. He calls me, or emails me about 3 days later. Thank you, exclamation point. I found my boss, talked to her, I got the promotion. I'm like, whoa. But here's the guy working for arguably the best employer brand in the world, and he's already looking for the next job. So about 6 months later, he says coffee again, we go. He's ready for the international assignment. Oh, he was offered the international assignment. He wasn't just ready, and he was a little concerned about how do I stay in touch while I'm gone, blah, blah, blah. So he went. So a few weeks ago, I get a Facebook chat. Hi, are you awake? It's Sunday night. Can I call you? I got the job moving back to the States, moving out of HR, but I'm a little worried about the comp, and I'd like to kind of discuss negotiating the comp. So in 3.5 years, Google has done this for him, but he's already thinking about what's next. Why am I telling you this? Because these are the best and the brightest. Have any of you all met Sasha Chua? You have. She is this unbelievable person that works at IBM. And she was a blogger, really up on Web 2.0 technology, how you communicate. She went to grad school and she started blogging and she started wondering where she would want to work. And people who read her blog said, I think you should work for IBM. And they helped her get an interview. So she prepared for the interview, but when she walked into IBM, she said, I'm kind of nervous, I'm really excited, this is the job I really like. And they said, no, we're nervous. You're the employee we'd really like to hire. And she goes, well, why are you nervous? Because we don't know what you want to do. On your blog, you list like 43 things you're good at. And we don't have a job with those 43 things. So they just had a conversation, and they crafted a job that met her needs. So she's an internal and external Web 2.0 evangelist. She helps with recruiting. She does web design and coding. She mentors older IBM employees. I've probably left out some, Jason, but they created the job for her. And she's around at conferences now telling her story. So how are we thinking to find the Sashas? Because Sasha could have ended up the Alex way, but IBM, who was having a huge brain drain when Google and Yahoo and Microsoft came on the scene, has figured out if we want to get these people, we have to craft the job around them. But everybody's asking, what's in it for me? Well, what they want is, they want a well-branded experience. They're always looking for the next opportunity. And they want this experience that just makes them feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. It was this whole idea of community, that community speaks their brand. So the boss is so critical. So no matter what great tools we have, no matter what great experiences we have, we can create with our tools, at the end of the day, it's going to be about the people and the community and the people you work with. So we need to stop thinking about jobs and start thinking about gigs. There's, a whole new kind of employee now that follows this thing called gigonomics. Have you heard that? They work 3 or 4 gigs at a time. This is some of these 20% of people who lost their jobs who haven't found one. I have a friend in my little hometown. She used to work as an office manager. Now she's the gossip columnist for our local newspaper. She does sort of the personal finance of a sort of a wealthy individual. She keeps their books and house sits and kind of manages their thing. And then she picks up other odd jobs, gigonomics. And she's managed to keep her income where it was by working 3 or 4 different things. We need to stop thinking about people as employees and start thinking of them as people who work for us, who contribute results. I mean, we were so excited today to talk about no paid time off policy, but that's a very small thing. There are companies now that have results-only work environment that don't have any hours. Just, here's your job, get the results done. But what will be next? How can we tell if people are getting a good job done if we don't see them and we don't know? It's a big challenge. And we've spent years and years trying to build loyal employees, but loyal employees really isn't the goal anymore. It's really, how do we get the work done that we need done and the results that we need?